Hello and welcome to the Makers Gonna Learn YouTube channel. My name is Becca Oaks and I'm a craft producer here with Makers Gonna Learn. Today we are going to talk about mini EasyPresses. We get questions a lot here about whether off-brand EasyPresses or heat presses are as good as the Cricut brand, and so we want to test that out for you. We're going to do that a couple of ways. One, we're going to use it so that you guys can see if it is as good. We are using the Dedo that we got from Amazon and our Cricut Mini EasyPress. We're going to be using heat transfer vinyl on just regular cotton to test it. And then also we have a temperature gun so that we can test the different levels of heat on each of the EasyPresses. There are 3 settings for each, so we're going to compare the two and see what the temperatures are for each of them. And then we'll talk about the price differences as well. So looking at both of the devices, we're just going to kind of go through both of them and compare them visually and kind of get just our opinions and thoughts on how they feel and how they look, since we are actually touching them and you are observing. So we'll start with the Cricut. We love this. It's a really good size. It fits really good in your hand. It's not too heavy, but it feels good. I do love this stand. It's a little bit sturdier. I feel like it's not as wobbly. So that is really nice. And you can see we have one button right here that controls the temperature. So we have our first setting, second setting, and third setting, and then you press again to go off. This does have an automatic off, so if it's been on for a while and you haven't used it, it will start to beep and let you know, hey, I'm still on, and then it will turn off eventually. So that's really neat. And then, oh, for price, let's talk about that really quickly. The MSRP on the Cricut EasyPress is $69.99. You can find it very frequently on sale for $49.99. So that gives you a little starting point for what to expect for price-wise. So now looking at the Dedo EasyPress, we also have our little cradle here. It does look a little bit different. So it doesn't have quite the protection here that this one does. And like I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, this cradle is a little bit lighter and I feel like it's not quite as stable. So in my opinion, that's the only negative thing as far as design goes. The handle and the size, it fits and feels the same way. We do still have our button that controls the 3 temperature settings here, just like that. The cool thing about this one is that it comes in several different colors. So if you like specific color schemes in your craft room, or you just have a favorite color that you like to try to get tools in, then there are several options. Now let's get down to price. The MSRP on the Dedo is $59.99, and we found it on Amazon when we purchased it for $39.99. So it is cheaper than the Cricut Mini EasyPress. And then I didn't mention, but the cord length for both is right at the same. So there's not one that is preferred over the other because of that. One thing that we definitely want to talk about are the temperature settings. So it is commonly believed that the 3 settings are 300, 350, and 400 on the Mini EasyPress. However, that is not true. So if you look at Cricut's fact page, the first setting is suitable for material settings between 255 and 295. So if your material setting or your material is prompting you to do one of those settings, then use the first. Then the second setting is good for materials suitable between 300 and 355. And then the third setting is great for materials needed between 360 and 400. Now, the settings do not vary between those, so it's important to mention that. Then we have the Dedo here. The first temperature setting is 284. The medium temperature setting is 320. And the third or highest temperature setting is 374. So they are comparable to one another, but let's test it out and see how close these are to what they're claiming to be. So to test these temperature settings, we're gonna go ahead and start with the first setting on each. I am just gonna preheat these, and then I'm using a temperature gun. I will point it at each one for each setting, and we can compare these temperature settings. Okay, both of these are preheated to the first setting. You can see they've turned green once the desired temperature has been reached. I'll let you know, this Cricut one did preheat more quickly than the Dodo Dum, but we're talking maybe a minute or less in time. So let's go ahead and see this temperature. We're at 253 degrees on the Cricut EasyPress at setting 1. And then on the Dodo Dum, we are at 250.7, so pretty comparable there. Now let's go ahead and push both of these up to the second temperature setting, and once they're preheated, we will test out those. Okay, you can see that both of these have preheated to that second temperature setting, so we can go ahead and with the Cricut, we will test out that temperature setting first. And it is showing at 289. And then the Dodo Dum is showing at 280.7. Now we'll go ahead and increase to the third temperature setting, and then we will test those settings as well. Now we are preheated to our third and final setting. We'll grab the Cricut and go ahead and test it. The highest setting is showing at 334. The Dodo Dum highest setting is showing at 331-ish. So those are pretty comparable. Now, it's very interesting. So let's go over that again. I'm gonna go with Cricut, and then I'll do all the Dodo Dum ones. So Cricut's claiming that the lowest temperature setting is 255. And so then it goes up to 255 to 295. Our temperature reading was 253, so that's about right. And then the medium setting, Cricut claims it is between 300 and 355, and our reading was at 289. So that's quite a bit under the lowest setting or the lowest range that they were giving. And then the high range that they were giving was 360 to 400, and our temperature setting was 334, which was in the middle of that medium setting, or what the medium setting should have been. So that's very interesting. Then we have the Dodo Dum. They are claiming that the low temp is 284 and our temperature setting was 250. Then we have the medium, which is 320. Our temperature setting was 280.7. And then the high was 375 and our temperature setting was 331. So that is very interesting to think about. I will say each setting was between 5 and 7 degrees from the other. So as far as temperature goes, I feel like they're pretty comparable when you're using these to heat transfer vinyl over that many degrees is really not a big deal. But I'm interested to know why they're varying so much from what they're claiming to be. Now, obviously there could be a little bit of an issue with the temperature gun. However, I don't really feel like it's going to be that vast, because when you use this on a human, the temperature that it reads is about what your regular body temperature is supposed to be. So I don't feel like there's that much error there. But now that we have those temperature settings, let's go ahead and put this on our second setting. We'll let it cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to use each one of these to go ahead and transfer some heat transfer vinyl over onto our cotton, and then you can see these in action. I do want to point out, just because I think it's neat, both of these dinged to let me know they had cooled down to the second temperature within probably 5 seconds of each other. So it's just really neat to take note of those things. But I'm just going to put down, this is just regular heat transfer vinyl that we are using, and I'm going to actually do both of these kind of at the same time. So just start in the middle, move them around. Doesn't take long with these. And you're looking for the black bubbles. I don't know if you can see or not, but if you are familiar with heat transfer vinyl, you know that bubbles will come up between the vinyl and the transfer sheet to let you know that it is separated from the transfer sheet and is ready to be peeled off. So we can go ahead and just gently remove these. And you can see they both did really well. They both feel really well. I don't see anything on either one of them where it wants to pill up. I honestly, as far as use and how well it did, can't say that one is better than the other. However, I can say that I like green better than red. And I can say that I like a $39.99 price tag better than a $49.99 price tag. But I do like this base better. So just depends. Are you a name person, a name brand person, or do you like to save money or kind of keep everything a color coded, favorite color type thing? I don't know. Personally, here at Maker's Gonna Learn, this one has found a home in my craft station because I love green. And don't forget, there are other color options available for this one. So also, I would like to point out, when we have checked on Amazon, and we've done it several times, this one is consistently on sale. Sometimes the Cricut ones are not on sale and you have to pay full MSRP. I'm not saying that's going to be always, especially with the Dodo Dum, but like I said, when we have checked, that has been the case. But this has been a really fun little comparison, and I hope it's answered any questions that you might have about getting a non-Cricut brand Mini EasyPress. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope that you have found it very interesting. If you like this video, definitely subscribe here to the YouTube channel. We have all sorts of videos and information coming out for you all regularly that answers fun questions like this. Also, if you found this useful, you would also love our membership here at Maker's Gonna Learn. If you want to check it out, click the link below and try our membership for $1. See what we're about, see how we can help you on your crafting journey, and just join the amazing crafting community that we have here at Maker's Gonna Learn. We will see you here another day for another video.